Alright guys, so last class we were talking about rational expressions. We learned how to simplify them, right? How to find the excluded values. What we're going to be doing today is talking about how to multiply them and how to divide. And it's actually really, really simple, okay? If you know how to factor, that is, then it's really simple. So let me give you a problem that might look kind of challenging, but you're going to see it's not too bad. It's actually kind of fun. Let's write this in here. So if I have x squared plus 8x plus 15, and I'm going to divide that by x plus 3. So that's our first rational expression. And we want to multiply that by a second rational expression. Let's do x squared minus 3x plus 2. And then over x squared plus 3x minus 10. What is going to be our first step here with trying to multiply these together? Any guesses what we should do? Factor, thank you, everyone's favorite thing to do, factor. So, step one with this is we're going to factor. So what I want you to do is take about a minute or so. We've got 3 quadratic trinomials that you can factor, and I'm going to call on 3 people in about a minute to tell me how they factored those, okay? And if you're totally stuck, maybe turn to your neighbor and ask for some help on how you factor. I'll give you a clue on this first one. I'm going to think in my brain, what multiplies to 15 and adds to 8? What would you guys say? 3. Awesome. So that's x plus 5, x plus 3. You go to the next one. Go. Alright, Mikkel, will you take the numerator and Brindley the denominator? How did you factor the numerator, Mikkel? Awesome. So this is -2 and -1, right? Great explanation. Okay, Brindley, what about the denominator there? You guys agree? Yeah, multiplies to -10, adds to +3. Alright, so step 1 is we factored this out, okay? Now, do you remember when we did our fractions review last time? How do you multiply fractions? Straight across. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to make this one big fraction. So it's like, now instead of having 2 different fractions, it's like one big fraction. So now I could go to step 2, which is just simplify. We learned how to do that last time. Now that it's factored, if it's the same on top and same on bottom, we get a cross out, which is really therapeutic, to be honest. You do it and you're like, hey, that felt good. So look at this. What could I cross out, guys? X plus 3, that's easy. Okay? What else? We've got an x minus 2. It's gone. X plus 5. And doesn't that feel good to cross things out? Now, really, what are we doing? It's simplifying to 1. So sometimes when we say cancels out, people think it's 0, but it's 1. What was the only thing we didn't cross out? X minus 1. So this would be the simplified product of these rational expressions. Okay? Now, if you do that one that I just did there, that's honestly probably the hardest one on the page. After to this, you guys will be like, oh, okay, I got it. Okay, do you have that written down? I'm going to erase it and kind of scroll up here, and we can do some more of these. Now, if it's already factored, do you need to still factor? No. Silly. Okay, let's go ahead. We're just going to do 6 examples, and that will be it for multiplying, okay? Okay, so let's look at this first one here. Is it in factored form already? Did we already factor? Yes. So then all we need to do is just cross things out that are the same. So since it's already factored, I'm going to say this is just one big fraction. And I'm going to cross it off if it's the same on top, and if it's the same on bottom. So tell me on this one, Kimberly, what can I cross out? Gone. What else? Gone. So then what's still left over? 4x in the numerator and in the denominator? Plus 6. And there we go. That was it. Pretty easy, right? Feels good to cross things out here. Let's go to the next one. Hey, help me on this one, Arlette. On this next one, is there anything I can simplify or factor? So I look at this 3k, nothing I can do there. K minus 2, nothing I can do. 3k, no. What about the 4k minus 4? Is there a greatest common factor there? What is that? Let's go. Well, with the 4k minus 4 is 4. Okay, so let's factor out my greatest common factor there of 4. So we have 3k over k minus 2. And guys, when I factor out that 4, what's still left over? K minus 1, and then over here I have 3k. Okay, now I factored that out, but does it simplify there? What's the only thing we can cross out? 3k. So then what's left over? Well, you could write it as 4k minus 4. I like to leave it in factored form though, so it's 4k minus 1 over k minus 2. Now, just to kind of reemphasize something we learned last time, remember we can't divide by 0, so we have our excluded values or our restricted values. What would give us 0 in our denominator here? 2. So in our domain, we would say k cannot equal 2. Now, we did cross out the 3k, but we still need to think what would make that denominator be 0. What value would you plug in to get 0 there? 0. So here our excluded values would be k cannot be 0 or 2. What about 1? Is 1 okay? Sometimes people are like, well, it gives you 0. What's the difference here, though? It's the numerator. 0 in the numerator is just 0, but 0 in the denominator sinks your battleship, right? So don't do that. Okay, let's keep on rolling here. I want you guys to do this next one. I want to give you a 20-second head start, because it's already factored, so it should be pretty quick. Alright, Christian, what can I cross out on this one?
X plus 3 and X.
Gone. Anything else?
No.
So I've got the 4, it doesn't cross out x minus 6, but what about these 3's right here?
Oh, yeah.
So then I've just got x minus 6 over 4. And there we go. That wasn't too bad. Were you guys able to do that on your own? Hopefully you're like, this is easy. Alright, well that was when we didn't need to really factor. When we get to this next one, we're going to need to factor. So take 20 seconds on this. V squared minus 7v minus 18. Think, alright, I need to find numbers that multiply to negative 18 and add to negative 7. And see if you can do that on your own. Alright, Charlie, did you get that factored? What'd you get it factored to?
Negative, we subtract 9 and b plus 9.
Alright, let's check if that works. So, negative 9 times 2 is negative 18. Good. Negative 9 plus 2 is negative 7. It works. Now these problems are designed so something should simplify. So if you factor it, it doesn't simplify, there's a chance that you did it wrong here. Charlie, now that I've factored it out, what could I simplify?
The b plus, b plus 2.
Gone. Gone, so then what's left?
Negative 9, 18b.
Okay, there you go, good job. Alright, so with what we're seeing here, there's two types of factoring. There's that trinomial factoring and then greatest common factor. Help me on this next one, Beyonce. What can I factor out here on this? I've got this one right here.
7 and 8, so that'd be 4 minus 1, B.
4 minus b, just like that. Awesome. And then here we just have 1 over b plus 2. Hey, this is a throwback to last time. I have 4 minus b and b minus 4. Are those the exact same? No, but what are they? Opposites. Awesome. Who remembers what we can do with opposites? Making me think back to last week. Oh, man. We can cross them out if what? Maybe let me do this over here on the sideboard. Remember, so let's say I had x minus 1 over 1 minus x. The 1 minus x, let's rewrite that so it's x minus 1 over negative x plus 1. Yes, we're going to get this bottom. If I factor out a negative, it will change the signs, so now it is the same, right? So I can cross them out, but what's still left over? The negative, okay? So when I come here to this one, Beyonce, you factored out a 7. Now, I have 4 minus b. It's the opposite of b minus 4, so I can cross it out if what? There we go. So I'm going to write this as negative 7 over b plus 10. Okay, I'm going to give you guys this last one is on your own, so I'm going to give you about a minute here. And let's see if you can do it on your own, and once you've got it, check with your neighbor if you did it right. Alright, Kara, will you help us on this last one? What were you able to factor here?
R squared plus 6r minus 27.
Awesome. What did that factor to?
R plus 9 and r minus 3.
You guys agree with that? What multiplies, so that's negative 27 adds to 6. Awesome. So then I'm going to put the 9r squared. And then here we've got r plus 9, r plus 3. So Kara, what could I cross out?
The r plus 9 and r minus 3.
So what's left over?
9r squared.
Good job. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys 5 minutes to get started on your homework here. It's that front page of what I just handed out.